Ryan Braun continues to enjoy road trips to Great American Ballpark. You see his last dozen games going back to last season. His two-run double in the fifth inning last night gave the Brewers the lead for good. And Orlando Arcia starting to come back around at the plate. 3 hits last night in helping the Crew to a 7-6 win against Cincinnati. The Brewers go for the sweep tonight. From Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, the series and the road trip coming to an end for the Milwaukee Brewers tonight as they wrap up this 3-game set against Jim Riggleman's Cincinnati Reds. And a win for the Brew Crew gives it a winning road trip. Making 5-4 on the swing, heading back to Miller Park. Good evening, alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Matt LePay. Sophia Minert is our reporter tonight. Well, it's a big night. It's a veteran pitcher, but it's his debut with the Milwaukee Brewers in the regular season. 31-year-old Wade Miley. And Rocky performed well in spring training, had one bumpy outing, but otherwise was good. Now he gets his chance in the regular season.
Yeah, better late than never, right? I mean, in spring training, it looked like he was going to make the rotation, but hurt a groin and had to rehab that. Down in the minor leagues, looked pretty good. Now, this is a guy that's been around. He's a 16-game winner in the big leagues with the Diamondbacks. He went over to the American League, had a couple of rough years, but tweaked his mechanics, and now he's throwing strikes. He did a real good job down in the minor leagues in 3 starts. A veteran guy. Craig Counsell saying before the game he really needs some innings out of Wade Miley. No real restrictions on him. We'll see how he's going to throw. The Brewers bullpen could use some time off tonight.
All right, Brewers starters have been pretty good far more often than not, especially these last 2.5 weeks. Miley hoping to extend that little run going. And for more on tonight's starter, let's send it down on the field to check in with Sophia Minert.
Thanks, Matt and Rock. And yeah, Wade Miley was an addition here in February, a minor league contract signed for him in the offseason. He knew he had to pitch well in spring training just to make the team. And as Rock said, if it weren't for the groin injury, he likely would have made it for the opening day roster. So the Brewers did have to make a move on their 40-man roster to add Wade Miley for tonight's start. So they called him up from AA Biloxi, where he did his minor league rehab assignment, and the corresponding move, reliever Oliver Drake designated for assignment. But certainly the way that Miley pitched in spring training and how he performed in his 3 minor league starts, going 1-1, an earned run average just over 3, 14 strikeouts for him, including 11 in his final start on Friday night. And he's had success against the Reds in his career, a 2-0 record for Miley. So Miley spoke with us yesterday about what it means to rejoin this team and get his opportunity to make his debut for the Brewers.
Yeah, I was just down there just trying to get healthy and kind of, I guess, go through spring training all over again and just trying to get my pitch count, get up and down, you know, get out of the dugout a couple times. I think we made it through 6, so everything felt good, and was able to get back up here. Just getting back to the basics of being able to command the baseball. Over the last couple of years, I've kind of lost the grasp of that, and bad walks, timely walks, and just not being able to really throw strikes.
Wade Miley looking to pound the strike zone here against this Reds lineup, and this Brewers offense would like to continue the home run swing. It's been 5 already on the series. Can they continue that as the Brewers and Wade Miley go for the series sweep here at Great American Ballpark?
Voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Well, the Brewers saw Luis Castillo a couple of weeks ago. They came away impressed. That line a little deceiving. A couple of inherited runners scored. But since then, things have gone south for the 25-year-old right-hander, especially Friday at Target Field, an inning plus, giving up 5 runs, earned runs. In the meantime, the Brewers offense showing some signs of life here at Great American Ballpark. That includes Travis Shaw, his 2-run homer in the first inning. Got the night started for the Brew Crew. And when they go deep, they almost always win, at least so far this season. Brewers go for the sweep here in Cincinnati. We'll have the lineups and the first pitch of this series finale at Great American Ballpark coming up next. But they tell us it'll stay dry here tonight. Low 80s at first pitch for the Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds at Great American Ballpark. And let's get right to the Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi. Jonathan Villar leads things off. Christian Yelich, Ryan Braun. Then it's Shaw, Aguilar, Santana, Pena, Arcia, and Wade Miley. That's the Brewers batting order that is ready to have at it against the hard-throwing Luis Castillo. And Villar going after the first pitch, fouling it off, and we are underway in Cincinnati.
Yeah, Castillo's numbers, big numbers, a 785 earned run average in 6 starts. He looked pretty good against the Brewers. Yeah, first time around at Miller Park. Picked up a 10-4 victory. 6'2", 190 pounds, 25 years old, out of the Dominican Republic.
And just got an early look at that changeup. Hard throwing, good changeup. Brewers got a pretty good dose of that a couple of weeks ago at Miller Park. As we'll catch you up here with Villar at the top of the order. A night off for Lorenzo Cain. Even he is allowed a breather now and then. So Villar will lead things off here tonight for the Brew Crew.
Yeah, it gives Lorenzo 2 days. You know, gets off today and then the off day tomorrow. Get back at it on Friday.
Couple of 1-run wins for Milwaukee in this series. 6-5 on Monday night, 7-6 last night. As Villar taps one up the first baseline and pairs out number 1 as Castillo will apply the tag.
Now let's check out the Reds as they line up defensively here tonight. You got Duvall in left, Billy Hamilton in center, Winker in right. You got Suarez, Peraza, Blandino, and Votto from third to first, and Devin Mesoraco, the former All-Star, behind home plate. Tucker Barnhart gets tonight off.
Yeah, role reversal now. Barnhart had been Mesoraco's backup, and now it's the other way around as we get underway tonight in Cincinnati. Christian Yelich at the plate. Yelich a hit and a walk last night. The Brewers bats are bouncing back here. They've had 9 hits in each of the first 2 games of the series. And they have beaten the Reds 4 out of 5 so far in 2018. And a win tonight would give Milwaukee a 5-4 road trip. So all things considered, not all bad if things go the right way here this evening. Yelich still sporting a healthy .357 on base percentage. Rock, it'll be interesting to watch and see how the Brewers fare against Castillo tonight, because we were all impressed, but man, he has really struggled since that outing at Miller Park.
Yeah, what the Brewers have to do, when we were talking to Darnell Coles, the Brewers hitting coach, around the batting cage, lay off the changeup. Not often does he throw it for strikes, and that's what other teams seem to be doing. That's why you see that big earned run average near 8. And you lay off that pitch, then he has to come in. He does throw hard, but his fastball fairly straight.
2-2 pitch to Yelich. On the ground. Nice stop by Votto, and Castillo over to cover for out number 2. I've seen Votto make some pretty good plays in this series, and he adds another one there.
And that was a changeup right there. Yelich was able to get the bat on. It's up in his strike zone. He threw a lot of those changeups at Miller Park. And the former Gold Glove first baseman Votto able to make the play.
Two men out here in the first inning for the Brewers, and here is Ryan Braun. Delivered with a 2-run double to right field last night. That broke a 3-3 tie, and the Brewers led the rest of the way in securing the 7-6 win. There's an idea of how hard Castillo can bring it when he needs to. Pop that in there at 97.
Yeah, well, he can reach back and give you a little extra too. He has hit 100 miles an hour this year.
25 years old. He burst onto the scene last year for the Reds. Got a lot of work in the second half of the season. Made the jump from their AA affiliate in Pensacola. The record wasn't great, but the ERA was impressive at 3.12 in 15 starts. Racked up the strikeouts, 98 of them in 89 and a third inning.
Yeah, he led all National League rookies in earned run average and opponent batting average. So he did a pretty good job last year.
Yeah, this is a young staff in part. The Brewers beat the veteran Homer Bailey last night, but still an area they're looking to clean up as they move along. They've been working to fix what has not been working with Castillo here in these last couple of outings. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ryan Braun. And there is a strikeout for Castillo, his first of the night. Changeup gets Ryan Braun, and the Brewers go down in order. We'll see the debut of Wade Miley coming up next. Come to the plates. Let's check out the Cincinnati batting order presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Jesse Winker leads things off. Jose Peraza hits second, followed by Joey Votto, excuse me. Eugenio Suarez having a good series. He hits cleanup. Adam Duvall, Devin Mesoraco, Alex Blandino, Luis Castillo hits eighth. Billy Hamilton hits ninth. That's the Reds batting order. That will be facing Wade Miley, his regular season debut with Milwaukee.
You can see his numbers last year, not very good with Baltimore. He tweaked his mechanics in the offseason, thrown a lot of strikes in spring, and did the same down in 3 minor league starts to get ready for this start today. 11 2/3 innings down in the minors. 2 walks, 14 punch outs from Miley. So back to his old tricks.
He was all-star good in 2012 with the Arizona Diamondbacks. That was the organization that first drafted him in 2005. Matter of fact, Miley was the runner-up for Rookie of the Year in the National League. Bryce Harper won the award, but Miley was right behind him. Feels like he has some things figured out, and we'll see how his first outing goes here tonight. Jesse Winker came off the bench last night, had a single. Off to a very good start, finding the leadoff spot good for him. Billy Hamilton had a lot of turns early at the top of the order, and now he is at the bottom of it, and Winker has been good at getting on base.
Yeah, essentially they have 2 leadoff guys once the game starts. Yeah, Winker, you got Billy Hamilton in the 9th spot, just trying to get a few more guys on for Joey Votto when he comes up. A lot of teams have tried that. Not many have stuck with it, though.
And a walk to Jesse Winker to begin the bottom of the first inning for Cincinnati.
Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win here tonight. Got a new kid in town. He's not a kid. He's 31 years old. He's been in the big leagues 8 seasons. Great Counsell could use some innings out of him today. We talked about the changeup for Luis Castillo. He had 8 strikeouts, and a lot of them coming on that changeup back at Miller Park. And the Brewers, when they score first, 14-4. So score early and often here today to get the sweep.
We'll keep an eye on Winker as Jose Peraza steps to the plate for the Reds. Had a good night last night. A couple of hits, walked, stole a couple of bases in the first couple of innings in the game. And this is lifted into center field. Christian Yelich drifting back, and at the edge of the warning track puts it away for out number 1. Wind's kicking a little bit out toward left center field. Saw last night what looked to be a routine fly ball became a warning track into the wall fly ball, so there may be some carry here at least in the early innings tonight.
Yeah. We saw that last night, then it kind of calmed down. We'll see. Not that you need any help to hit a ball out of this ballpark.
Well, it doesn't take much. Brewers enjoy coming here like any number of teams do. Blue Crew with 3 home runs last night. Here's Joey Votto. His on-base streak now is at 16 games where he has reached safely.
Only 2 left-handers that Miley's going to face here tonight are in the top 3 in the batting order, Winker and Votto. Everybody else right-handed. You got the switch hitter Hamilton in the 9th spot.
Votto, as you might imagine, hits in his career lefties really well. It hasn't been as well so far this year. He was last week's Player of the Week in the National League as he started to get the power going. 4 home runs. They came in consecutive games against the Braves 3 times, and then the Twins up at Target Field. Miley out in front, a ball, 2 strikes. Sails a fastball high.
Yeah, 93. Yeah, that's about what you're going to get out of Miley. He's a 4-pitch mix guy. Fastball, slider change, curveball to go with it.
2-2 pitch to Votto. Look out. Off speed. And a full count to the Reds first baseman. Miley had one outing here last year while with the Orioles. Pitched really well against the Reds at Great American Ballpark. 8 innings of 2-hit 1-run ball. And he's 3-2 lifetime against Cincinnati. Winker the runner at first. Full count to Votto. Runner-up for National League MVP last year, Joey Votto. Payoff pitch. Back up the middle. Arcia is there, positioned perfectly for one, and the jump throw gets past Aguilar and into the camera well, so Votto will get second. There are 2 men out here in the first.
Yeah, good throw, and they're able to turn the double play. Yeah, Arcia taking that one all by himself and just a little bit off the mark. Well, they had him positioned perfectly, and ordinarily Arcia is going to be able to make this throw, but not able to do it. Fielder's choice E6.
Arcia had a tough error call that went a ruling that went against him last night, but he also made a very good play to end the game. Hard charge on a softly hit ground ball off the bat of Devin Mesoraco. Here's been the guy who's been the really tough out in this series. Eugenio Suarez had a hit and a walk last night. He has driven in 7 in the first 2 games. Suarez with a 2-run homer last night in the first inning. His 3rd of the year as he continues to swing a good bat coming back from the thumb injury.
Yeah, Reds have been swinging the bat now for a good stretch. Pitching's let him down. That's kind of been the history for Cincinnati as of late.
Suarez with a ground ball to Arcia. Snaps this one up, and the throw is on target, and that will do it for the Reds in the first inning. Wade Miley keeps him off the board in his first inning as a Brewer. For Travis Shaw, but a good sign last night of the first inning as he turned on this Homer Bailey pitch. A no-doubter 2-run homer, Powerball home run count, 6 of them now for Shaw.
Yeah, starting to get much better swings, better looks up there at the plate. That was a big one. Part of back-to-back home runs in the first inning for Milwaukee last night.
His post-game conversation with Sophia Minert saying it felt good, that home run, he needed it. Tough series in Chicago for him, but maybe a breakout last night as he launched one. Changeup missing from Castillo. 16 RBIs to go with those 16 homers for Shaw.
Yeah, that's going to be the key to this game for Milwaukee in the offense, is laying off that changeup. Very rarely is it thrown for a strike. There it is, down in the strike zone. Tough to pick up, though. He's got such good arm action on it. It amazes me that he's got an earned run average around 8.
It's baffling.
The way we watch him, that changeup is one of the better ones we've seen. And then it gives you 96, 97 up in the zone.
Yeah, elevate that. And he was a big strikeout guy, as we mentioned last year.
This guy lasted 1 inning against the Twins. Amazing.
Full count to Shaw, leading off the second. He's followed by Aguilar and Domingo Santana. Payoff pitch on the way. Outed off his foot. And he's going to give himself a second to walk that off.
They don't hurt as bad in weather like this.
Yeah, it's the first time this season we can come to the ballpark and say it feels a little humid today.
A little gravy going today, didn't we?
A little bit, yeah. Just a little.
Kind of feels good.
Yeah, it does. Feels real
First
good.
sweat of the year.
We are not complaining. And we can complain about stuff, but we're not. We're good with this. And there's the change. He gets Travis Shaw for out number 1. Boy, in theory, laying off of it, that's the plan. It's hard to do.
Yeah, he has such good arm action on it. You can't pick it up. And when you throw a 97, you have to really be ready for that fastball. You can't sit on that changeup. He throws it down there, and it's out of the strike zone again.
A couple of strikeouts early on for Luis Castillo as he gets set to face Jesus Aguilar. Brewers went back-to-back again last night. Shaw's 2-run homer was followed by Aguilar as he went deep as well. And later in the game, Hernan Perez cleared the left field wall. Excellent beginning to the season for Aguilar. .411 on base percentage. Fastball at 98 in there for strike 1. Couple of homers, 9 RBIs for Aguilar. Getting the call at first base tonight. And here's how it looked after Shaw went deep. Aguilar did as well.
Yep, fastball down and in, golfed it on out of here in the left center. What did they have it at 411?
411. Looked like 415 to me. There's a liner into left field. That's a base hit. I've been able to say that a lot with Jesus Aguilar as he again gets on base. First hit of the night for Milwaukee.
Yeah, left that changeup up in the zone, and Aguilar saw it well. This guy, he's something else. I mean, you talk about it all the time with Aguilar. That changeup up inside part of the plate, and he rips it into left field. Seems like he barrels everything up
with that free and easy swing. Here's Domingo Santana. We talked a lot about the pitching, the bullpen, the work of Josh Hader, the historic effort from Hader on Monday night. But don't forget about Domingo Santana. That 2-run double, that was huge in the 7th inning. Gave the Brewers the lead for good. And he sends one down the line in right field. That's a base hit. Aguilar on his way to third as the Brewers will have runners at the corners with 1 out of the 2nd inning.
Well, it'd be nice to get that guy hot. Domingo Santana is starting to see the ball much better, starting to go up the middle in the right field a little bit more. Hit that one like a shot right by Votto. Yep, fastball down. You can get to a fastball around the knees much better than you can one around the belt, especially at that velocity. And Aguilar able to rumble into third base.
Big man can get there.
Yes, he can. And don't get in his way.
That would be very sound advice. Here's Manny Pena. Pena 0 for 3 with a walk last night, but he is the first catcher this year to catch Billy Hamilton stealing. Aguilar at third, Santana at first. Brewers trying to put some pressure on Castillo right away, and look out. Oh, that protective netting. That's more than just foul balls you're protecting the fans from. That was going to be coming in hot.
Yep, need a little bit more stickum, so he goes back to the on deck circle. That'll save a couple of bruises. It's one of the best ideas that baseball's had in a long time, putting those nets up.
Without a doubt. And he offered. That is out number 2 on strikeout number 3 for Luis Castillo. Frustrating at bat for Pena against Castillo.
Yeah, Tim Timmons, first base umpire, ringing it up. Let's see if he goes. Yep. He went.
Two away here in the second inning for Milwaukee, and Orlando Arcia steps in. 3-hit night for Arcia last night. Mentioned he had been struggling at the plate since coming back from the ankle injury, but a good sign last night. Eight RBIs, 3 game-winning RBIs for Orlando in the first month plus.
And Darnell Coles and Jason Lane been working with Arcia on just staying back a little bit, seeing the baseball, shooting it to the opposite field, and not chasing so much out of the strike zone. Those two things go hand in hand. Staying back, seeing it, waiting, not committing too soon.
1-1 pitch on the way. Mentioned how the Brewers struggled against Castillo, but Arcia has had pretty good numbers, 4 out of 8. Scoring chance here in the second inning for Milwaukee. Singles from Aguilar and Santana. 2-1 pitch. Lays off that.
Very good take. A change up.
Got the pitcher Wade Miley on deck. Hitters count for Orlando Arcia. The 3-1. And he shoots one off the glove of Votto, and a run will score as Arcia reaches and Santana moves to third. Brewers first on the board here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, exactly what Darnell Coles was talking about before the game with respect to Arcia waiting back, shooting the ball to the opposite field, and the Brewers on the board first. You know what that means? They have had a lot of success when they score first. Yeah, fastball out away from Arcia and goes right with it. That's a nice swing, nice and easy, good balance. You know, it kind of appeared that, you know, Castillo was okay with walking Arcia right there and going after Miley. And threw him a strike on a 3-1 count.
Miley going after the first pitch, and he bounces to Alex Blandino, and that will end the inning. But the Brewers get on the scoreboard against Castillo. We are through an inning and 1/2 with the Brewers leading the Reds 1-0.
finale against the Reds. Brewers starter Wade Miley, manager Craig Counsell said that for Miley, he said certainly the walks were a story for him last year, the 93 walks in an 8-15 season with the Baltimore Orioles. And Counsell said that right away in spring training, they could tell the adjustments that Miley had made were working. He said you watched him in bullpens, the way he was throwing the ball. He said this did not look like a 90-walk pitcher. So he said similar to how Zach Davies operates, he says he's going to use a 4-pitch mix. He says he needs to get the pitches on the corners and he needs to be able to work inside. That will be a successful night here for Wade Miley as he makes his Brewers debut.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much. Good start here for Miley getting through the first inning. We have a change to update you on. Hernan Perez now in at third base. Remember, Travis Shaw fouled one off his foot and needed a couple of minutes before he settled back in. So we'll let you know if we find out anything. But Perez now the third baseman.
Yeah, you got to figure that's it, right? Yeah, get some ice on it, get tomorrow off, and maybe be back at it on Friday against the Pirates.
Adam Duvall leading off here for Cincinnati, and he sends one in the air to center field. That's Christian Yelich territory tonight, and that's out number one.
Yelich has now started in all three spots in the outfield.
And for him, the one that was different at this level was right field. He's all good center and left. Right field had some turns out there in spring training. Just a good ball player.
Yeah.
He runs the bases and hits and covers ground out in the outfield. Here's Devin Mesoraco. To say the least, it has been a frustrating last few years for an all-star catcher. He was an all-star in 2014, and then the following 3 seasons, injuries limited him to a total of 95 games.
Yeah, and lost his job as a starter. Tucker Barnhart now the starter behind home plate. And Mesoraco could get hit too back in those days. Good pop in that bat.
Hip issues, shoulder issue. In on the hands, a roller. That's Arcia, and that's the second out of the inning.
And Craig Counsell talking about the importance of pitching in from Miley. Did a good job right there, getting in on the hands of Devin Mesoraco. You see Pena setting up inside, and he left it out over the plate just a little bit, but Mesoraco is still jamming himself.
Here's Alex Blandino. They've been tag teaming it at second base in this series. Rosel Herrera got a start last night. Blandino back in there tonight. He had the call on Monday. And a bouncer to Arcia again. And Wade Miley has a clean inning, and he needed all of 8 pitches to get it done. We are through 2 in Cincinnati. The Brewers with the early lead.
tailgate party started with the all-new tailgate ticket pack, which includes 6 tickets to any Friday night home game plus 2 free parking passes. All for just $20 per person. Learn more at brewers.com/tailgate.
That's a deal now.
Yeah. $20 a person. You betcha.
That will work.
Every Friday night.
And that's when the Brewers will be back in action after this tussle ends. Off day tomorrow. And then Friday against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jonathan Villar leads things off, top of the order here for the Brew Crew. Villar grounded out. Little tapper to Castillo in the first inning. This is the 4th game where Villar this year has been at the top of the order. Lorenzo Cain has the night off. Chased a changeup. Count is even, a ball to strike. Big RBI triple last night for Jonathan Villar. Brewers with a run across in the second inning off Castillo, who has fared well in his first 3 starts going back to last season against the Brewers. A change up there that Villar cannot get to even the count. The last outing of the year for Castillo last year, early September, he was outstanding against Milwaukee. 8 innings of 4-hit 1-run ball. No walks, and he struck out 10. And that early September outing, that was his final one. The Reds shut him down after his work in the minor leagues as well as with Cincinnati, where he was a regular in the rotation in the second half of the season.
Yeah, this guy's got good stuff. You just wonder if he's going to be able to come up with a third pitch that he feels comfortable with. That might have been a slider right there. That fastball changeup combination can be very effective.
Full count to Villar. And a liner gets through into right field. Jonathan Villar, and he's thinking 2 all the way, and that's not a good idea. He's out at second.
Well, you like to hustle, but when you're leading off an inning, that's not a very good decision. Yeah, 2 outs, nobody on. Maybe you try and think about stretching it and get into scoring position, but yeah, when you're leading off and you got Yelich, Braun behind you in the lineup, you just stay put. You see a pretty good throw from Winker into second base, and he's an easy out at second.
Well, he had that on his mind as he left the box. So 1 away here in the 3rd inning for Christian Yelich. Fouls back the changeup, 2 strikes and nothing. So an out on the bases here in inning number 3.
Yeah, but Villar able to wait back on that changeup from Castillo. The Brewers are getting a better look at that pitch than they did first time through back at Miller Park. A couple of their hits have come on the changeup tonight.
And Yelich sends one toward the gap in left center field, and that's going to go off the wall. Yelich on his way to second, and he'll get there easily. Stand up double with 1 out here in the 3rd.
Yep, got a fastball, and he hit it hard into the gap in left center. Well, Castillo now has been pounded a couple of times in this game. There's that fastball kind of middle in up in the strike zone, and he just smokes it out there. It was kind of tailing back over the plate, and Yelich goes right with it and finds a gap. So with 1 out, Yelich standing at second base.
So an RBI chance here for Ryan Braun. He has 17 of them to lead this Brewers team. Crawford up for strike one. Tip Timmons over at first. So Braun had some scuffles in the first couple 3 weeks, of very dramatic moments to be sure, but his last 12-13 games he is hitting close to 350 and being that run producer he has been throughout the course of his career.
And really driving the ball to right field. I mean, do you see a correlation there? Guys swinging the bat well and hitting the ball to the opposite field. I mean, Ryan hit a bullet down the right field line last night. And when he's doing that, I guess you could say that about anybody. That's when you know they're seeing the baseball well. Trusting the hands, letting the ball travel, not getting out in front.
A ball, a strike to Braun. And he also made an impressive play at first base last night. It was one of those Rockies like to say the ball finds you. He comes in late in the game and has to make a bare hand pick and fed Jeremy Jeffress, and it helped get the Brewers out of a major jam in the 8th inning.
Yeah, tying run at third base at the time. Yeah, they don't make that play, the game's tied.
Good defensive play and terrific pitching again in a tight spot from Jeremy Jeffress. He's done that a lot. Castillo with a 1-2. In that stretch, the last dozen games, Braun has homered a couple of times. He has driven in 9 runs. Yelich, a 1-out double to left center. The 2-2. Bouncing ball over to Suarez. A long throw is in time. That's out number 2.
They made that throw look easy, didn't they? Flat-footed, had plenty of time to set his feet, but flat-footed, and a pretty good throw to first base. Good arm over there.
We were talking about it last night, the improvement that he has made from 2016 to 17, and it's carrying over. A lot of errors a couple of years ago, especially in the first half of the season. That has cleaned up a ton. Signed him to a long-term extension in March. Be around for a while. Suarez. Here's Hernan Perez. He is the new third baseman now, replacing Travis Shaw. Perez came into the game last night. Didn't mess around in the 7th inning. Line one just over the wall in left field. It was off of Amir Garrett. One strike pitch in the hole. That's Peraza with a long throw, and it pulls Votto off the bag. Perez is safe as Yelich will move to third.
Yeah, I think a good throw gets him, but a little bit high. And Perez busted it down the line. We'll see how they rule that one. Probably going to be an error, you think. Well, Perez, he goes to his backhand, and once again, flat-footed, throws high, and pulls Votto off the bag. Yelich has to stay put at third base, so a good play by Votto to keep it in the infield.
And that will be an error. So both teams have committed an error here early on. And now Aguilar will try to make the Reds pay for it. And Castillo just does miss with a fastball. Aguilar 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Has that now with Yelich at third.
You know, the movement, for Castillo, very similar, fastball and changeup. Both of them, have some sink, a little bit of tail, runs in on a right-handed batter. What do you think? He's about 10 miles an hour off of it, for the changeup. So as far as the flight of the baseball, they're almost identical.
That's the challenge of laying off that changeup. A ball, a strike to Aguilar. And Perez is running, and that is ripped foul.
Look out, Eddie.
Woo. And Yelich. Ball, 2 strikes to Jesus Aguilar. Yeah, you smile now, both of you. Did you hear that? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It whistled.
Eddie almost leaned into it.
Had it tracked all the way, Rock. I'm okay. The 1-2. This with the change there. Mentioning originally signed with the Giants, did Castillo in 2012, was traded to the Marlins, part of the Casey McGee trade. He eventually came over to Cincinnati for Dan Straley. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Aguilar. And that will end the inning. Another strikeout for Luis Castillo. He has 4 of them. He moved to the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0 Brewers. Pena threw him out last night. Check this out.
Yeah, pop time at 1.78. Second fastest since they've been recording that stuff, you know, a couple of years ago. But just incredible job by Manny Pena. He's always been a good thrower, but that was one of his best throws ever. You know, Major League average about 2 seconds, 2.0. Right. If you can get anything around 2.9, 2.8, that is quick. But 1.79, that is amazing. 1.78.
Well, you mentioned it last night. You got to look at it again as Miley works against Luis Castillo here. The footwork of Pena gave himself a chance. It's the first time Hamilton has been caught stealing this season. He was good in his first 5.
A lot of guys catch it and then get their feet in position to throw. But with Hamilton throwing, Pena realizing that he's got to be a little bit quicker. So his feet were in position even before he caught the baseball. I was talking to him before the game about that throw, and he said he works on that stuff. He got to.
Wade Miley working quickly, gets a strikeout to begin the 3rd.
Yeah, watch the footwork. He's going to get his feet in position before he even has the baseball. He's doing the best he can to get on top. The ball's going to sail a little bit. You have to compensate that, you know, where your target is, and he's able to get Billy Hamilton easily at second base. Martin Maldonado the fastest, 1.77. So 1/100th of a second quicker.
Well, the Brewers have been blessed with some pretty good catchers in that regard. Here's Hamilton with a base hit to right field, so we might see the movie again here tonight. That is the first hit for Cincinnati. Hamilton did have a couple of hits last night.
He's starting to swing the bat much better. It'll be a little different, I think, for Manny here with Miley on the mound, the left-hander. He's got a decent move to first. That'll keep Billy Hamilton closer to the bag, I would imagine.
One out, one on in the third inning. As Hamilton gets the pad on and Jesse Winker steps to the plate. Miley almost picked him off. Speaking of that good move you were just talking about.
Almost caught him sleeping. Barely off the bag, walking towards second. And he almost got him.
Yeah, Brewers are taking a look. But he got back, it appears.
Hey, you never know.
We found out last night.
We learned our lesson at second base. Don't assume.
Yeah, big pick off at second base last night. Adam Duvall had ended the inning. Winker pops this one up. And Hernan Perez will call for it for out number 2. Here is Jose Peraza. That was a big moment last night when Duvall was picked off by Chase Anderson. It looked as though Duvall got back to the bag, but after the replay review, the call stood. He was out.
Yeah.
So it was good to be wrong, right?
Yeah, well, I learned my lesson.
I did for at least a day or two. Peraza's been solid at the plate. You see the average, a couple of home runs. And a ground ball in the hole, and that will slip through. Runners at first and second with 2 men out.
Trying to establish inside, left that one out over the plate, and Peraza able to find the hole. Yeah, first and second. That guy coming up now, Joey Votto. You'd prefer to have him lead off innings. He got a couple of men on.
Votto hit into what could have been a double play. It was a fielder's choice, and then Arcia's throw to first sailed into the camera well, so it was an E6. No damage was done. Hamilton at second, Peraza the runner at first. Count evens, a ball, a strike. Big moments last night. Jeremy Jeffress locked up Votto, got him looking in the 8th inning. The Reds thought they had something big brewing.
Yeah, tying run at third base, 1 out, and I guess everybody was assuming that Joe Votto was going to get this run in. And in 4 pitches, Jeremy Jeffress struck him out. Guy's been incredible.
Really has.
Coming in with men on base.
Ton of tight spots he has pitched his team out of. Miley with a 1-2. Couple of hits against Miley here in inning number 3, the first 2 of the night for Cincinnati. And that's in the air, right field. And Santana will squeeze it. And that's it for the Reds in the 3rd. So Cincinnati, they stranded 10 last night. They strand 2 here in the inning. 1-0 Brewers after 3.
of the Reds. Time now to check in on our Brewers minor league system. Our UW Whitewater minor league report, Keston Hiura with the Carolina Mudcats over the last week. A .393 average for him, 4 RBIs. The OPS 1023. Incredible stuff from Keston Hiura. Just continues to hit the Brewers' top prospect.
We saw that in spring training. Man can hit.
Yeah, he can rake. I mean, no question about that. It's just going to be a matter of whether he's going to be able to field his position over at second base, although he looked pretty good at second in spring training. They've been concerned about his throwing arm, but his throws look pretty good.
Yeah, Craig Counsell talked about that during the course of March. He was impressive all the way around. Keston Hiura, remember the name.
Yeah.
Domingo Santana leading off. And goes down swinging. Castillo, strikeout number 5. Well, Rocky mentioned it's an off day tomorrow for the Brew Crew, but you and I, we're going to be hard at work.
Yeah.
A labor of love, but we will be hard at work.
And we're going over to Miller Coors to put together our own beer. We're going to make some beer. Our own concoction. Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm excited.
It's going to be you and I against Josh Hader and Taylor Williams. Those two guys are going to go to the brewery next week. They're going to make theirs, and we're going to have a contest at the ballpark.
There's Manny Pena, a ground ball to Blandino for out number 2. I don't know if we would be seeding this like a tournament, if we would be a low seed against Williams and Hader, but I know a good beer when I taste it. I will rely on your expertise as a maker of it. I'll just follow directions.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I try to do here.
I think we have a lot more experience in drinking it than they do. I don't know about making it. It's going to be fun, but on Friday, July 20th, fans are going to have a chance to taste both. A special ticket package, and you get a sample of both beers. You get a mug. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, Will.
Have you ever made a beer?
I have not.
I have not either.
Oh, this will be a good time.
I've tasted a ton of it, but never made it.
I'm going to call this an educational experience tomorrow. It'll be good. I will say if Josh and Taylor, if they brew beer as well as they pitch, we're in trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
But there will be no loser in this.
Yeah, we both teams, you and I, we have a special kind of a special type of beer that we want to make.
There's Arcia lifting one into right center field, and that finds the gap. Oh, Orlando Arcia heating up, has himself a double and his second hit of the night.
Yep, 2 of his hits last night came to right field, and both hits tonight to right field. No surprise. And when Darnell Coles talks about hitting, and we hear about what he's trying to work on with different hitters, it all sounds awfully easy. It's far from it. I mean, these guys work hard at their craft, and right now Arcia is really seeing the baseball well. He's got that scissor kick approach that keeps him closed, and starting to drive the ball to right field, not just trying to feel for it anymore.
Here's Wade Miley, a roller in the hole. Nice stop by Peraza, but Miley legs it out. Arcia moves to third, and this 4th inning continues. First hit as a Brewer, Wade Miley.
Yeah, back to his old days in the National League. And he was busting it down that line. Yeah, Carlos Subero checking him out. It kind of slices one, a backhand from Peraza. And not able to get it there in time, and made Miley with an infield single.
So after the first 2 were retired, Arcia doubles, Miley infield hit. Here's VR with a big hack. VR singled to right, tried to stretch it to a double, and was thrown out by Jesse Winker. Brewers already with 7 hits in this game. They're just in inning number 4.
And he got 2 hits with runners in scoring position. Unfortunately, both of them have been infield hits. Arcia did score a run, or drive in a run, in the second. Knocked one off the glove of Votto.
0-2 the count to Jonathan Villar. Villar came into the game 6 for 21 with runners in scoring position. Been a tough stat collectively for this Brewers team. The 1-2. After his start in Milwaukee, Castillo went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs and 7 hits to the Cardinals, an inning plus against the Twins, and they just knocked him around. 2-2 pitch. Now a full count. Word on Travis Shaw. Contusion or bruise? What do you want to go with? Right foot.
We'll go to contusion
Right
because
foot
it sounds
contusion.
a lot more serious.
Right foot contusion.
Yep.
That's what has Shaw out of the game. Fouled one off his foot. His first at bat. And Villar a wave and stays alive as he got a piece. Castillo with 5 strikeouts. Brewers have stranded 4 runners so far. Villar trying to pick up at least one of them here. Garcia a double, Miley an infield single. Here comes the 3-2. And he struck him out. Changeup gets Villar as the Brewers strand a couple of more. To the bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Milwaukee. The Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Pepsi, this is the Pepsi for your crew.
A beautiful night for baseball here in Cincinnati, wrapping up the road trip and the series against the Reds. The Brewers with a 1-0 lead here in the 4th. And great news for lefty Josh Hader, as earlier today he was named National League Reliever of the Month. And why not with the month of April that he has had? 4 saves for him in 11 appearances, all of them 2 innings or more. You see in 9 games, the earned run average 1.20. 32 strikeouts, and the save opportunities as well. We saw him here set a Major League Baseball record with the 8 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings, the first to ever do it in less than 3 innings. And Craig Counsell said, of course, it's been a great month for him. He said you could even nominate Jeremy Jeffress for that honor as well. He said Hader's had a fantastic month, and it's just been a really impressive group. He said the whole staff has just pitched outstanding.
Yeah, it's certainly the case. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around Hader on Monday night as Suarez leads off here for the Reds in the 4th. 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, 37 pitches.
Right.
And that's minimum in terms of even foul balls.
Not even, what was it? Billy Hamilton fouled off a bunt attempt with 2 strikes.
Right.
A lot of swing and misses, a lot of takes. Incredible stuff. That whole bullpen has been tremendous. I mean, when you consider, and we talk about this a lot, but it really, it's valid in that when your closer is out, I mean, it really throws most bullpens into absolute turmoil. Who's getting up when? I mean, Craig Counsell's done a pretty good job having every one of his guys ready at any time. And whenever he chooses to bring any one of those guys in, they get the job done.
Yeah, it's certainly been the case. Counsell with any number of options, multiple innings. Suarez thought he had ball 4. Instead, it's strike 2. Reds had a couple of hits off Miley in the 3rd inning, but the lefty got out of trouble. First 2 hits of the night for Cincinnati. 3-2 pitch on the way to Suarez.
He went right back in there. He got the call on the inside corner on Suarez, and then Suarez had to swing it one a little bit in. He's had good command tonight. He's throwing it pretty much where he wants it.
Upstairs there, and ball 4.
It's a good pitch. And had the top of the strike zone.
Risky take.
Yeah, I don't think Suarez was sure that was going to be called a ball.
Second walk allowed by Miley. Here's Adam Duvall. The fly ball to Yelich out in center in the 2nd inning. Miley likes to work with a little bit of tempo here too.
Even with men on base. I mean, you like that. Man, fielders like that. And he likes to throw inside, doesn't he?
He's
a
not
lot
afraid.
of pitches inside. I mean, fastballs in. He's gotten a lot of mileage out of the fastball so far tonight.
From Hammond, Louisiana, 31-year-old Wade Miley.
Missed with a changeup.
Average is low for Duvall, but he still produces runs. He has driven in 15. And the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Since Jim Riggleman took over, the Reds averaging about 5.8 runs per game. It was much less than that prior to Riggleman taking over. Reds making the move. They relieve Brian Price of his managerial duties after the series at Miller Park. But the Reds still just 4-8 under Riggleman. 15 that he has managed previously with the Padres, the Mariners, the Washington Nationals, and the Cubs. That team in '98 under Riggleman got into the postseason.
I guess a bit of a head scratcher why the Reds let Brian Price go. I mean, didn't do a whole lot in the offseason to think that they were going to contend this year.
Wade Miley gets a punch out of Duvall for out number 1 here in the 4th.
Turned that one over. Changeup, good pitch. Fastballs in, changeup's away. That's what it's been so far from Miley. Check it out. Up out of the strike zone, and Duvall swings right through it.
One out, one on as Miley will face Devin Mesoraco. And that's in the air to left center field. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Suarez around third. They're going to wave him home. Here comes Arcia with the relay throw. Not in time. And the Reds have tied the game at 1 here in the 4th. RBI double from Devin Mesoraco.
It got a little bit too much at the plate with that fastball. Mesoraco waiting for it, and well, once it got by Braun out there in left field, you figured that Suarez had his chance to score. He runs pretty well. Supposed to be inside. Watch where it ends up. Right down the middle, 89 miles an hour, and Mesoraco finds the gap all the way to the wall, and Suarez got a good jump. He knew right away that was in the gap and able to score easily.
Here's Alex Blandino. Came in the game last night and homered his first major league home run. In the 8th inning of last night's game.
Jacob Barnes, he threw him a fastball, 96 miles an hour, turned it around.
Two-0 pitch. A walk to Suarez started this inning. A strikeout of Duvall before Mesoraco brought Suarez around. Blandino came into this series having hit safely in 7 straight games, but was hitless on Monday night. Three-one pitch. And another walk, second one of the inning and third of the game now. Given up by Wade Miley.
One of his undoings last year with Baltimore. Too many walks, too many base on balls, and then having to come in the strike zone with men on base. Never good when you walk the leadoff hitter in any inning.
You're right, those walks, no one had more in the American League last year than Miley. Here's Castillo trying to move him up. Keep in mind, he is 4 for 10 at the plate. Bunting situation here, but he had an RBI in the game at Miller Park. And struck out in the 3rd inning. And he swings away.
And probably go back to bunting after that swing.
Didn't look like a 4 for 10 kind of cut.
Yeah,
did it?
right. I mean, make good pitches to pitchers, you're going to get them out.
Remember Castillo, an RBI knock. Jorge Lopez, who was up, pitched 3 innings in that game at Miller Park, and an RBI double. Tries a little butcher boy. That doesn't work, and that's out number 2. Three strikeouts for Miley, 2 of them coming against his counterpart. Now here's Hamilton. Struggling badly at the plate in the series, but now is starting to heat up. Couple of hits last night, 1 tonight. 4 hits total in this series. 4 for 9, in fact.
It was only his 4th hit as a right-handed hitter. That base hit in the 3rd inning.
Well, he misses again. Yeah, he is now 4 for 24. Is Hamilton against lefties. Mesoraco run scoring double. Blandino reached on a walk. Reds are getting to Miley for their first run here in the inning. And a little danger zone here. 3-1 to Hamilton. Lets it rip, and this will carry not out of play, but no play for Aguilar. Full count. Walk to Suarez, strikeout of Duvall, run scoring double out of from the bat, excuse me, of Devin Mesoraco. Blandino walked. Miley trying to get out of it without further damage, and he does with a strikeout of Hamilton. And that'll do it for the Reds here in the 4th inning. They pick up their first run of the night. Miley fans Hamilton. The Reds strand 2. We are tied at 1 through 4.
But 3 home run games in the big leagues today. The first one coming from Mookie Betts, a 3-homer day. That's the 4th time he's done it in his career, passing the all-time great Ted Williams for the most in Red Sox team history. All 3 of those home runs came off of Danny Duffy, by the way, and he now has 11 home runs on the season. And then Edwin Encarnacion for the Indians did it again against the Rangers. That's the 3rd time in his career he's had a 3-home run game. And that last one you saw, well, that went 425 feet in the 8th. No cheapie. And a great moment in the clubhouse. He was doing media, talking to the guys about his 3-homer game. Gets a call from Albert Pujols. He knows something about hitting home runs, too. So today's the 15th day in MLB history with multiple players having a 3-home run game. And the last time was May 29th in 2013.
Yeah, some more rare air today. If you're Mookie Betts, you can pass Ted Williams in any category. You should feel pretty good about that.
Amazing, isn't it?
Wow.
That's a pretty good team. Red Sox.
Oh, I guess. They are jumped out what to a 17-2 start to their year. They're 22-8 now.
Yeah, right. Yep, it's early, but it looked like they're a pretty good team.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're not running away and hiding though. The Yankees are just 2.5 back. And Sophia's showing us what Edwin Encarnacion did today. We'll see the Indians in the next homestand.
Wonder what Albert wanted.
Just a little congratulatory phone call.
Kind of like calling up, calling the clubhouse. And
hitter to hitter.
Is Edwin there? I'd like to talk to him.
Nice day. 2 balls, 1 strike to Christian Yelich.
Albert close to 3,000 hits.
Yeah, well, he does have Pujols. Pujols is in that group with 4 3-homer games. Yelich gets into one. That's deep to right field, and that's not coming back. That's out of here. Christian Yelich with a drive into the seats, and the Brewers take a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, he's starting to feel it again. He was real hot early in the season and kind of tapered off a little bit. Now Yelich is starting to see it pretty well. Double to left, home run, a big fly to right on a changeup. Brewers are getting much better swings on that changeup tonight. Second time they've seen him this year, and they had no chance at staying in the park.
So the Brewers regain the lead. Here's Ryan Braun. Number 3 for Christian Yelich. Braun shoots one foul.
So what's the stat? 14-4 when the Brewers score first and they homer.
That's right, and they have done both. So that should be a good sign.
Yeah, that's a part of our Pizza Ranch. That's why I bring it up. Pizza Ranch for the win.
Yes, sir. There's been a very friendly statistic for the Brew Crew. Ryan Braun in his career in this yard has gone deep 25 times. By the way, as the Brewers play tonight, they're in a virtual tie for first in the Central with the St. Louis Cardinals. Braun swings and lifts one into center field. On the run, Billy Hamilton, and he gets there for out number 1.
When do you actually start looking at the standings?
When the Brewers are in first.
When you're in first place, I get that, but you know, I couldn't tell you if they were in first place.
Yeah.
You look at the records. I mean, you start looking at that, what, mid-June, something like that?
Probably, unless you're, buried. Right. I mean, unless you're 10, 12 games out. I mean, if you're the Reds, you're going to notice that.
Right.
With where you are. But yeah, Twitter is where it got my attention.
Is that right?
Because that's where we learn everything.
It's always good when you're in first place. But
it is.
I guess you take care of your own business and.
Right. Well, it's like you talk about. You can't win it, but you can put yourself in a spot to lose
right.
out.
Yeah. Like the Reds have done with 7 victories so far this year.
Right. Yeah, they come in 7-23. But yeah, you're not going to do cartwheels, and even when you get to the halfway point, it's
right.
You notice it, but a long season. And Hernan Perez goes down swinging. Castillo with another strikeout. That's 6 or 7 of them now, and they're 2 away.
But you're right. Anytime you can say you're in first place, whether it's game 3 or game 130, it's always a good thing to say.
It is, yep. Cubs losing at home to the Rockies 11-2. Cardinals beat the White Sox 3-2. Carlos Martinez, the winning pitcher, he also homered. So his day was pretty good. Jesus Aguilar, a single to left and a strikeout.
This guy reminds me a lot of Martinez over with the Cardinals. The way he, his pitches, the fastball, the changeup, very similar stuff. He's not quite as flamboyant as Martinez over there with St. Louis.
Aguilar with a roller to Peraza. And that'll do it for the Brew Crew here in the 5th inning. But a scoring inning it is, courtesy of Christian Yelich, who turns on this offering from Castillo and gives Milwaukee a 2-1 lead as we move to the bottom of inning number 5. Cincinnati, Christian Yelich with a solo shot in the top half of this inning. And Jesse Winker will lead things off for Cincinnati. Well, he drops a curve in there for strike one. Winker a walk and a foul pop tonight. Miley's tempo is, I don't want to say Suter-esque, but it isn't all that far from it. He likes to get it and go.
I mean, he doesn't mess around, does he? I mean, and Manny Pena really hadn't caught him a whole lot. Probably a little in spring training, right? Doing a good job throwing the signs down. Not a whole lot of shaking off. Can't say enough about the Brewers catching core and what they have meant to this pitching staff. They're calling games, getting guys through games. Yeah, for instance, last night, I mean, Chase Anderson really didn't have his good stuff. I mean, it was a grinder for him. I talked to Chase before the game, and you know, he did. He said he grinded it out himself, and he said Manny Pena did a good job with him last night, just trying to figure out, you know, mixing it up a little bit, trying to get him through the game. Didn't have his good command, and that's something that Manny has learned a lot. You know, calling games, scouting reports, having to, you know, it's been a real good adjustment for him.
Winker with a fly ball to left. Braun has some carry there, but Park's going to hold that for out number one.
Hey, the Brewers finally return home after this long road trip. And they play the Pirates this Friday, May 4th through Sunday the 6th. To view the full series schedule, which includes Star Wars night, Cinco de Mayo, and a lightweight hoodie giveaway, visit brewers.com/promotions.
And we got a lot going on at the yard this weekend.
Yeah, good to be home tonight.
There is Jose Peraza.
Kind of interesting. The Brewers with a 3-city trip. They come home tonight. They have a week homestand and then go back out on a 3-city trip.
Yeah, they do. Colorado, Arizona, and then the Twins.
With an off day in there.
Wade Miley in his Brewers debut. He's given up a run on 3 hits. The Reds have stranded 5. Peraza tonight, a fly to center and a single to left. Reached base 3 times last night. Three and 1 the count. And Miley battles back. He's walked 3. Leadoff walk to Suarez in the 4th inning, came back to haunt. Scored on the double from Devin Mesoraco. Little bouncer on the charge is Hernan Perez. And that's out number 2.
Yeah, good footwork by Jesus Aguilar over there at first base. Doing a tap dance around the bag at first. Quick throw from Perez, and they get the out.
One of those things early in the season that last year that was noticeable about Aguilar. He hit his way onto the 25-man. Obviously has a lot of big hits, but that footwork around first, that has not gone unnoticed.
No. Very solid defensively.
One and 1 to Joey Votto. This is just how you want to face Votto, with the bases empty and 2 men out. Pitch count starting to get up there for Miley. 3-1 on the way. And a one-hopper to Jonathan Villar. That'll be the second 1-2-3 inning of the night for Mr. Miley. A fly ball and 2 ground outs. Still 2-1 Brewers after 5.
for the Brewers as we head to the 6th. And Brewers Community Foundation harnesses the pride, passion, and commitment of Brewers fans, players, and other supporters to positively impact the community. BCF focuses on health, education, recreation, and basic needs, and they thank you for your support all season long.
All right, thank you, Sophia. We move to the 6th inning here in Cincinnati as Domingo Santana will lead off against Luis Castillo. Brewers with 8 hits. They have stranded 6. Back up the middle, and that's a base hit, the second of the night for Santana as the Brewers get the leadoff man aboard.
No, it all started with taking that first pitch changeup out of the strike zone and got one to hit. Santana's seeing the baseball much better. He's starting to think more up the middle, opposite field. He was a little pull conscious early in the season.
Bullpen activity now. Austin Bryce, the right-hander. That's Amir Garrett. We saw him last night. Bullpen busy now for the Reds. Here's Pena. A strikeout and a ground ball to second for Manny so far. Bouncing ball, Suarez. There's Blandino for 1 and the turn. An easy double play. Around the horn they go. 2 away here in the 6th.
Yeah, that's that tailing action on the pitches from Castillo. The fastball down and in. You know, Manny, a couple of hops to Suarez. That's about as easy as it gets.
Base is empty for Arcia. Couple of hits for him tonight. He's 5 for his last 6. Here's his night at the plate, presented by Wendy's. One scoring single in the second, a double 2 innings later. And 5 for 6 follows a 1 for 15 stretch that Arcia went through. Remember, coming back after missing a couple of games with the ankle injury. Suffered against the Marlins a week and a half ago. Drops a slider in there. Strike 2. Coming up, pitch number 100 on the night for Castillo. That is hit in the air to right field. Winker has it tracked. And that'll do it for the Brewers in the 6th. Still a 1-run lead for the Brew Crew. We move to the bottom of inning number 6. Cincinnati, Great American Ballpark. And when you combine the most provocative man in sports with the most interesting man in sports, you get opinion that cuts through the hype. Get Speak for Yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. Weekdays at 4 p.m. Central, only on FS1. Another light gathering here in Cincinnati tonight. A couple of changes for the Brewers. Brett Phillips now in the game in center field. Christian Yelich will slide from center to left. So the night has ended for Ryan Braun. Eugenio Suarez leading off here for the Reds. Suarez, Duvall, and Mesoraco. Wade Miley looking pretty good here so far in his first outing as a Brewer. Suarez with a liner to right, and on the run is Santana. One out.
He's been able to throw strikes. He did have that little brief period in the fourth inning where he lost the plate a little bit. He walked a couple of batters. That was the inning where he gave up the run. A leadoff walk to Suarez. But for the most part, I mean, he's been good. He's been working the inside corner effectively, throwing the slider and the changeup. A success so far in his first start.
Here's Adam Duvall. Well, you go back to that day in spring training against the A's when Miley fielding a bunt suffered a groin injury, and the same day Boone Logan had to be removed. Triceps issue. You get that last full week of spring training. There's a ground ball. Nice stop. Hernan Perez, and the tag applied by Aguilar. Well, more good defense on the part of the Brewers, and we have 2 up, 2 down in the 6th.
Yeah, they will kick 1 or 2. I mean, a routine play. We saw that from Arcia today with an errant throw and a double play. But these are the kind of plays the Brewers have been making pretty much all season. I mean, the exceptional play. Perez able to angle back, and once again Aguilar able to come off the bag and grab the throw from Perez. So the throw's a little bit off by Hernan today, but Aguilar able to help him out.
Devin Mesoraco at the plate. Bender is in there for strike 2 call. Former first-round draft pick of the Diamondbacks, Wade Miley. Showing the form that he flashed at numerous occasions in spring training. The one blow-up outing, it happened to be against the Reds in Goodyear. It was a wild game. He was good throughout the course of the Cactus League, and he just does stay alive. Devin Mesoraco just getting a piece. Remains 2 strikes and nothing.
And just a matter of being able to put the baseball where he wants it. He's not overpowering for sure, but when he's able to throw good quality strikes early in the count and get hitters to chase, that's when he's at his best. The old adage, throw strikes early in the count so you don't have to throw them late in the count.
Loads up for the 1-2 pitch. And a bouncer to Arcia. And another 1-2-3 inning for Wade Miley as he has set down 8 in a row now as we move to the 7th inning. Brewers still up 2-1. Download the app and take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball wherever you go. Well, Wade Miley's debut is a very impressive one here tonight, Rock. 6 innings, just 1 run allowed.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, exactly what Craig Counsell needed. He said minimum 6 innings, but 97 pitches. He did have that little lapse in control in the 4th inning where he gave up his run. But a successful debut for the Brewers. He's done well. Last 2 starts against Cincinnati. 14 innings, 2 earned runs. That's not too bad. That dates back to last April.
Yeah, it does, as an Oriole. So well done on the part of Wade Miley. First impressions are quite favorable. Lorenzo Cain will pinch hit, leading things off here in the top half of the 7th.
I don't think that the Brewers really wanted to use Lorenzo Cain tonight. I mean, it was going to be a strict off day, but with a couple of injuries, you have to use Phillips, Perez in the game. He's kind of forced to use Lorenzo tonight as a pinch hitter.
Cain's 1 hit in the series, a home run. That was on Monday night.
We have a word on Ryan Braun yet?
I have not heard yet.
No.
Nope. 2-2 pitch. If you're just tuning in, Travis Shaw left the game after his first at bat. Right foot contusion. Fouled one off his foot. So Hernan Perez taking over at 3rd early tonight. Lorenzo Cain draws a walk. That's how the 7th inning begins.
Yeah, what's new? Lorenzo on base.
Sure, Riggleman was looking to see what Castillo could do in this inning. Pitcher spot due 2nd in the bottom half of the inning. A slow walk to the mound here from the Reds manager. And he will go ahead and make a move. Pretty good night's work for Castillo as well. He leaves with the Brewers leading 2-1 in the 7th. Lights, great taste at only 96 calories. And by Toyota, let's go places. 2-1 lead for the Brewers. Pitching change for Cincinnati after Luis Castillo walks Lorenzo Cain to start this inning. It's still an impressive night. Baffling to us that the ERA is as high as it is. Good tonight. Brewers stranding some runners, but a couple of runs allowed. 9 hits, 6 innings of work. And 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, difference in the game, that home run by Christian Yelich in the 5th inning. Yeah, another good outing against the Brewers for Castillo. Amir Garrett taking over. This is a guy that doesn't walk anybody. 2 walks, 17 strikeouts in 16 2/3 innings. He did allow a run a couple of nights ago to Hernan Perez. He hit a homer.
He will face Jonathan VR with Kane at first. And you mentioned he's had very good command this season, Garrett, out of the bullpen. That was a problem for him last year. He walked 40 in 70 2/3 innings. Began the year as a starter. Looks like he has found a home coming out of the Reds bullpen. VR a single in 3 trips. That single he tried to stretch into a double, and Jesse Winker threw him out. Good rip there, and the count is even a ball to strike.
Yeah, Garrett a big guy, but doesn't throw all that hard. You know, low 90s, got a slider to go with it. He'll throw a changeup as well. Decent move to first.
As VR turned around, he hits just 176 from the right side of the plate. Kane leads this Brewers team with 8 stolen bases. He's been caught just once. A 1-1.
Jonathan VR upset with himself. He wasted a hanging slider. You could hear him screaming after he fouled that pitch off.
Ball 2 strikes. Brewers looking for some insurance here in the 7th inning.
I guess screaming when you're upset at yourself is one thing. How about Ken Giles last night? Gave up a home run, punched himself in the face. Walking off the field.
You hate to lose a fight with yourself.
Right. I mean, I have never seen anything quite like that. Was a pretty good shot, too. He gave himself.
VR a swing and a miss.
Gave up a 3-run home run. Got taken out, walking off the field, and literally punched himself in the mouth.
Yeah, there's one thing to punch out the water cooler or, you know, get crazy with the bats, take them out of the bat rack, but when you punch yourself out.
I've never seen that.
Yeah. Getting some originality points. Or something like that.
You got to be tough to punch yourself in the face.
Got to be a couple of things to do that. Here's Yelich.
Well, you know, we always say you never know what you're going to see when you come to the yard.
That's right.
Right? Good and bad.
You can see Josh Hader making history, or you can see Ken Giles beating himself up, literally. On 1 pitch. Couple of extra base hits tonight for Yelich, a double and a solo home run. The 1-1. And this is popped up. Shallow right field. Blandino, the second baseman, will handle it for out number 2. And now Brett Phillips. Came in last night. Brought back up from Colorado Springs. Up there for the final couple of innings in last night's game. He struck out in his 1 at bat. He was swinging a pretty decent bat back in AAA. He's hitting .288 there with 6 RBIs. He was covering 21 games.
Always injects a lot of life when he's on the roster, when he's with the club. Well, he had a lot of fun when he's here.
A ball, a strike. And Phillips looks at strike 2 called. Yeah, Phillips was having a little fun with the manager earlier today, right? Here's the 1-2. And that is strike 3 called. So Amir Garrett comes out of the bullpen after a leadoff walk given up by Castillo and sets down the Brewers. 1-run game in the 7th.
That's a great answer. Counts. That counts. That's a great answer.
Look at that. You were down there the whole time?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same question, but.
Wait, where did you come from?
What in the world?
Wait, was he down there the whole time? Well, that was before the game, talking to manager Craig Counsell. And I mean, how much fun does Brett Phillips have? He's back up with the team. We're actually talking about Brett Phillips there, and Army crawls his way under the bench, unbeknownst to all of us who are sitting there talking to Counsell. And then at the perfect time, as we're finishing up, wrapping up, talking about him being called up for the second time this season, he agrees with the manager and says, "You're absolutely right. I deserve to be here." So, I mean, Phillips, he just has so much fun. It was certainly a lighthearted moment, but he certainly brings a lot to this club, Matt and Rock.
He brings a ton of personality, a cannon for an arm, great speed, right? But he's a funny dude.
Yeah, best laugh in baseball.
That's right. And I guess he just scared the daylights out of Todd Rosiak, too, the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. So Todd's okay, but that pulse rate went up a little bit in the pregame interview with Counsell. Fun moments at the ballpark. Here's Dan Jennings now on the mound for Milwaukee.
Yeah, pitched on Monday here in Cincinnati, faced 2 batters. He did allow a run in that appearance, one of the few runs that the Brewers bullpen has allowed.
Boy, another impressive performer, though. He starts the inning here. He's inherited through the first month and change 14 runners, only 3 have scored. So he too has pitched his club out of trouble more than once. Two and 1 the count to Blandino.
They'd be hard pressed to find anybody down in that bullpen that hasn't done a good job. Even Oliver Drake, who was designated for assignment today to make room for Wade Miley.
Yeah, Drake had 1 bad outing. It was against the Reds at Miller Park. Gave up 6 runs. 3-1 to Blandino, and it's second. Scooter Gennett still dealing with that shoulder issue, but Scooter is on deck. Here's a 3-1. And a walk to Blandino to begin the 7th inning. Well, the walk got Miley in trouble in the 4th inning. That's how the Reds, that was the scoring inning for the Reds. Suarez led off with a walk, and he scored on the Mesoraco double. So here's Scooter Gennett. an MRI on Monday because of that shoulder that's been bothering him. But the result of that was favorable, but the shoulder still isn't quite right for him to play a lot of defense right now. But we've seen him come off the bench at each of the games of the series.
And Jim Riggleman confident in Jeanette, the left-handed hitter, to face Jennings. Scooter's been much better against lefties as of late.
Yeah, it's been a big plus for Jeanette this season. He is 8 for 23 against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, options on the bench. They have two switch hitters available, Herrera and Barnhart. Scooter Jeanette getting the opportunity in this at bat, and then they have Scott Schebler, left-handed hitter, on the bench.
Jeanette at the plate following his breakout year, his career year last year, with a good solid start. 341 on base percentage. Yeah, you see, that's what's noticeable, the 348 for Jeanette against lefties. Break even pitch. Slider is fouled away.
He left it up a little bit, allowing Jeanette to get a bat on it. You get that one down and away, you get your strikeout.
Strikeout, get the ground ball. Jennings a very good ground ball pitcher. Here we are again, another one-run game as we're starting to get late in Cincinnati. The 1-2. Here's the ground ball, knocked out by Jennings. Nice play. Look what I found. There's out number one.
Yeah, that would have been a base hit. There was nobody going to catch that. Boy, Jennings just threw the glove down, knocked it down, and able to get the out. Pretty good reflexes for Dan Jennings right there. Check this out. There's a base hit up the middle. Able to knock it down and get the out at first base.
Behind the backstop there.
Yeah.
Still a productive out for Jeanette as Blandino moves to second. Now Jennings will face Billy Hamilton. He is singled and struck out. Blandino led off the inning with a walk. There's a bouncer to Arcia. And it's out number two. Blandino moves up a base. Tying run 90 feet away. Back to the top of the order, and Jesse Winker. After the walk, he has popped out and flied to left. Reds with just 3 hits tonight. The walk has Blandino in scoring position here in the 7th.
Yeah, Jennings got a nice slider today. Starting Winker off with a breaking pitch right on the outside corner.
There's the 0-1. Winker's been strong with runners in scoring position. Good test here for Jennings. The 1-1 to center field. There's Brett Phillips. He's right there to put it away, and that'll do it for Cincinnati in the 7th. The walk is a harmless one. It's still 2-1 as we move to the 8th. Perez off the bat of Christian Yelich. Solo home run off Luis Castillo. That has given the Brewers this 2-1 lead that they still have. As we move to the 8th inning, let's check out the Powerball home run leaderboard. Eric Thames with 7 leads the way. Travis Shaw last night hit number 6. Ryan Braun with 5. Lorenzo Cain with 4. And Yelich with his 3rd of the year tonight. Perez his 3rd of the year. That was last night. Your Powerball home run leaderboard. Now the former Brewer, former longtime Pirate Jared Hughes on the mound.
Yeah, we saw him in the game against Milwaukee on Monday. Pitched an inning, gave up a couple of hits, but did not allow a run.
He will face Hernan Perez. Perez coming into the game early tonight. Travis Shaw with a right foot contusion. And Hughes quickly in front. No balls, 2 strikes. Hughes good with the Brewers last year. A lot of good years with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Great ground ball pitcher. Ground ball rate better than 60%. Good sinker. 1-2 pitch. A slider there fouled away.
It was Hughes on the mound when Domingo Santana hit that double to give the Brewers a lead. He was charged with a blown save. Did not give up a run on his own, but gave up some other runs.
Yeah, those were charged to Wandy Peralta. And that was a night where the Brewers showed the power, but they manufactured runs in the 7th inning. Got the running game going. And as you mentioned, the big blow from Santana. 2-2 the count to Perez. And that's back up the middle, and a good start here to the 8th for Milwaukee.
Yeah, Brewers have been able to get their leadoff hitter on in each of the last 4 innings. Time to get a little insurance here. And Perez starting to get better at bats.
And here is Jesus Aguilar. Brewers now with 10 hits in the game. And so far just 2 runs to show for it. Aguilar singled in the 2nd inning. He has struck out and grounded out since. That's it. Down the line in left field. That's going to drop. Perez rounding 2nd. And he will get to 3rd. And the Brewers are in business. Runners at the corners with nobody out.
Yeah, just another 2-hit game for Jesus Aguilar. Yeah, Hughes tried to crowd him with a fastball, but Aguilar, big and strong. You got it down on the handle a little bit, but muscles it down the line. That pitch coming in on him, but Aguilar quick with the hands and able to rip it down the line. Right, Brewers set up nicely here in the 8th.
All right, a chance to get some breathing room here perhaps. Here is Santana. He has a 2-hit night going. A couple of singles, 1 to right and 1 to center. Some of these Brewers who've been scuffling are showing some good signs here in the last 3 days. Santana trying to keep it going. Big cut and a miss.
He's got that good sinker, does Jared Hughes. You got to make him at least early in the count, get it up in the zone. Big time ground ball pitcher. They're halfway up the middle. They'll make a decision whether they want to go home or go for the double play.
Here's the 0-2. As Rocco the block. Count evens 2-2 to Santana. Hughes appeared in 67 games with the Brewers last year. 3.02 ERA, won 5 games. Brewers picked him up right before the regular season started. Here's the 2-2. And that's out number 1 in the 8th.
Yeah, that two-seamer way in off the plate. It started on the corner, but that big movement. And Santana with a defensive swing. Big out for Hughes. Now a ground ball gets him out of the inning.
Perez a single to center. Aguilar a single to left. Hughes gets a strikeout of Santana, and manager Jim Riggleman back to the mound. A little scouting report visit perhaps, as Pena will be at the plate. Oh, he would know Pena pretty well.
Yeah, that and maybe talking about a potential squeeze.
Yep.
Yeah, who knows? Brewers would love to get this third run across.
Pena grounded into an around the horn double play in the 6th inning. Looking for his first hit of the game. His home run on Monday night ended that scoring drought for Milwaukee. Helped the Brewers to a 6-5 win. Now a ball, a strike. 2 runs, 11 hits for the Brewers, a run on 3 for Cincinnati. Both teams have committed an error. Hughes with a 1-1. And a bouncer, Peraza. There's Blandino for 1, and the throw is airmailed into the dugout. Perez will score. Pena gets second, and the Brewers get a big insurance run in the 8th inning.
Yeah, and Jesus Aguilar did a really good job maintaining connection with second base. Now, if he slides in like that and slides by the bag, that could have been an automatic double play. So a good job by Aguilar staying right on second base. That gives the Brewers that third run. Now check out Aguilar. Now if he comes in too hard and doesn't keep contact with second base, they could call an automatic double play. Stay on the bag. He did.
Yeah, that's good work.
And that is good work. That's good good thinking by Aguilar.
So Pena is at second. It's a 3-1 lead for the Brewers, and here's Arcia, who has a couple of hits and an RBI tonight. Second error of the night committed by Cincinnati. That has Pena in scoring position. Little chopper. Suarez, bare hand pick. Good play. That'll end the inning for the Brewers, but they pick up a little insurance. We move to the bottom of the 8th. 3-1 Milwaukee. and another tight one. But they did pick up a big run in the top half of the 8th inning. A 2-run lead now for the Brew Crew. And a couple changes here as Jet Bandy now behind the plate for Milwaukee. And on the mound is Jeremy Jeffress. He faces Jose Peraza.
Yeah, picked up his first save of the year last night. An inning and 2/3. Perfect innings. That included a strikeout. That was a big strikeout too in the 8th inning. Joey Votto was man at third. 1 out.
Peraza right back to Jeffress. Out number 1.
Not even going to bother throwing it around.
I love that look.
That ball.
That is a mean looking.
Yeah, that ball caught him. He didn't catch it. Look at the look on his face.
I know. I love it.
Yeah. Just happened to have the glove there. Jeremy able to keep it in the glove. So I'm not even going to throw that around.
Yeah, I got
I'm
this.
Hold on to it.
Here's Votto. And Jeffress with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Good strike 1. And now the bender for strike 2. That save last night for Jeffress, his first of the year, and this is a guy who had 27 saves in 2016 with the Brewers. First save in a couple of years, and he had to work for it. He got it done. 2-strike pitch.
I guess you ask yourself, is Jeremy going to finish this game? I mean, if all things go well, after an inning and 2/3 yesterday.
I've seen the multi-inning save with regularity here. There's Votto, a roller over to VR, and that's out number 2.
Hey, let's check out tonight's time of the game winner. It's Lee's Inn in Michigan. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Michigan. Two outs, bases empty for Eugenio Suarez.
Now, the one thing Craig Counsell, is mindful of where the Brewers are in the opponent batting average or batting order. So you had Peraza, Votto, Suarez. So he elects to go with Jeremy Jeffress. As you get further down in the order, you might see somebody else come in the 9th inning.
Like an Albers, perhaps. Possibility.
Yeah, Barnes. Doubt Josh Hader's available tonight. Probably want to give him tonight and the day off tomorrow after throwing 2 2/3 innings on Monday.
37 pitches. Hader needed on Monday night. 2 balls, no strikes to Suarez. Curve misses for Jeffress. Suarez been a tough out in this series. He's driven in 7 runs. He's walked tonight, grounded to short and lined to right. The 3-1 pitch. And the Reds have a base runner with 2 outs.
Yeah, last thing you want to do there, walk the tying run to the plate.
On the one hand, last night, Jeffress was needed for an inning and 2/3. On the other, he needed 14 pitches.
Right.
So it was relatively low. After retiring Peraza and Votto, Suarez extends the inning. Here is Adam Duvall. Play by Perez retired Duvall in his last at bat in the 6th. Bandy will get things organized.
Just kind of loses the strike zone every now and again, but he gets it back quickly. Wheels always turning in that head of Craig Counsell.
You got a good 6 innings of work from Wade Miley. Jennings got through the 7th. Back to the heat to even the count for Jeffress. A .239 ERA as a Brewer for Jeffress. When he's not a Brewer, that ERA is .476. This terrific fit in Milwaukee, and there's a little pop-up. Going out is VR, and that is out number 3. So Jeremy Jeffress gives up a walk. That's it. We move to the 9th. Brewers lead 3-1.
A 9-game road trip for the Crew, a 3-1 lead, and with MLB.TV Premium, you'll never miss a second of the action. Enjoy HD streams of all out-of-market games on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free MLB.com at-bat premium subscription when you sign up.
Ed Cedar Fan Club here tonight, Rock.
They travel well.
Everybody loves Ed Cedar.
Yeah, how can you not? What's not to love?
Two-run lead for the Brew Crew here in the 9th inning. Jet Bandy will lead things off. Jared Hughes still on the mound for Cincinnati.
Yeah, Brewers with only one player left on the bench. That's Eric Sogard. They've used 4 guys off the bench since the start of the game. A couple leaving due to injury. I assume Braun left with something. Why else would he leave, right?
Yeah, no word. Shaw, we know, with a right foot contusion. Braun's last at bat was a warning track fly to center. One pitch to Bandy. Hughes still has nasty stuff when he's on.
Everything moves. Sinker down and into right-handers. The slider away.
The ball, 2 strikes to Jet Bandy. And there's a base hit to left field. Good work by Bandy. Hanging in there, and he is on as again the Brewers get their leadoff man aboard.
Yeah, 2-strike base hit for Milwaukee. That's just a good piece of hitting by Bandy, going down and getting that pitch. That was down in the zone. And here comes Jim Riggleman. That's just a nice piece of hitting. That was down out of the strike zone, below the knees, and Bandy goes down and gets it. Another leadoff base runner from Milwaukee.
It's 5 innings in a row that they have gotten the leadoff man aboard. We have another pitching change at Great American Ballpark. Brewers up 2 in the 9th. Brewers trying to widen the lead if they can. A pitching change again here in Cincinnati. Hughes' night is done, and now Wandy Peralta is on.
Yeah, 16th appearance for Peralta. He was charged with a couple of runs on Monday night. A .440 earned run average. Has not allowed a home run at this point.
He faces Jonathan VR. And a little bouncer to Suarez. There's Blandino, and the throw goes into right field as Bandy will move to third. That's the third error of the night for Cincinnati, and the Brewers again with a big threat.
Well, just kicking it around, really helping the Brewers a lot tonight with the miscues. Well, you're not going to turn 2 on VR on a ball hit like that, so what you do is just make sure 1 at second base. I mean, VR just runs too well to try and be cute and be quick and try and turn 2. That not even close. Blandino, no chance. And now the Brewers set up nicely to extend the lead.
That's a pretty good third baseman who just made a bad throw. Well, here is Christian Yelich. A double in the third, a homer in the 5th. Let's pull the infield in. Good night going for Yelich. Start of the game in center field has since moved to left. And Peralta missing with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
It's all about being able to throw that breaking pitch for strikes for Peralta. He's got good velocity.
One pitch. Brewers with a chance to bust this one open a little bit here in the 9th inning. VR is running, and VR will get second base. 6 steals for VR now in 7 tries. In the meantime, a 2-2 count to Yelich.
Stolen base eliminates any potential double play, but I don't think the Reds were really concerned about a double play. They were going to make sure that that 4th run didn't cross home plate. Get another man in scoring position.
A full count to Yelich. Infield is in. Payoff pitch. Bouncer to Suarez. Runners have to hold, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, pretty good pitch right there, right off the end of the bat for Yelich. And no chance for Bandy to score. He doesn't run very well at all. Yeah, 3-2 pitch, a slider. And Christian Yelich out in front of it. A little squib off the end of the bat, and a good decision by Bandy not to try and score.
Big opportunity now for Brett Phillips. Second stint with the big club for Phillips. So a lot of them last year had a good month of September. Played in a lot of high pressure games for the Brewers. Fared well for himself. Bandy at third, VR at second. Slider in there to even the count. Rear back and let it fly. That's what Peralta did there.
A couple of sliders and a big fastball.
We'll see VR can take that huge lead with the infield in. The 1-2. Peralta appeared in 69 games last year for the Reds, tops among rookies out of the bullpen. The 2-2. A wave and a miss. Out number 2 here in the 9th.
Well, Peralta did his job. And now they're probably going to go with Iglesias, the closer for the Reds. And Jim Riggleman figuring I can't fall behind any further. With Perez coming up, going to go to the right-hander. That's a pretty good job by Peralta.
Yeah, you got a little tapper from Yelich to third, a strikeout of Phillips. Inning does continue. 2 on, 2 outs in the 9th. Brewers leading 3-1. Bandy. A couple of changes here for the Reds. Scott Schebler now in the game. He is in right field, part of the double switch for Jim Riggleman. Jesse Winker moves from right to left. And now on the mound is Raisel Iglesias.
Yeah, the closer, 3 for 4 in save opportunities. He pitched on Monday a scoreless inning. This guy's nasty against right-handers. That's why Jim Riggleman has to bring him in.
Here's Hernan Perez.
It was 7 wins on the season. You know, the Reds haven't had many opportunities to bring this guy in with a lead in ninth.
Yeah, you're right. He's when he is in rhythm and the Reds have something going, he's another guy who could get you the multi-inning saves. He had 28 saves last year. Just 2 blown saves. Facing Hernan Perez. Bandy at third, Jonathan Villar at second. Perez singled to center in the 8th inning. Also reached on an error that was back in the 3rd. The 1-1. Slider missing.
Yeah, your best opportunity is thinking right field, maybe dump one into right here. Iglesias, he will drop down. He'll change his arm angle. He likes to work away, particularly with the slider.
There's that slider again to even the count. A 12-hit night for Milwaukee. They've stranded 8 runners. Wandy Peralta got this inning started. Couple of big outs from Yelich and Phillips, and now Iglesias delivers, and Perez sends it to center. And Billy Hamilton will put it away for out number 3. So the Brewers strand 2 more, but they lead by 2. 3-1 Milwaukee as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Cincinnati, who's trying to sweep this series. Let's check out what's on tap, presented by Miller Lite. On Friday, the Pirates come to town. Junior Guerra and Nick Kingham. He retired the first 20 Cardinals he faced, so they're going to give him another start. Go figure. Jamison Taillon and Zach Davies on Saturday. Chad Kuhl and Yolis Chassin on Sunday. We'll get it started Friday with Brewers Live at 6:30 here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
We have 5 home games coming up and then right back out on the road. It'll be good to get back to Miller Park even for a short time And Jeremy Jeffers is going to come out and try and nail this one down. He's going to try and give Craig Counsell 2 innings after giving him an inning and 2/3 last night.
Looking for back-to-back saves. He will face Devin Mesoraco. Mesoraco, Alex Blandino, and Scott Schebler in the 9th. And a curve is in there for strike 1. Appearance number 17 for Jeffress.
Really has been amazing to watch Craig Counsell navigate his way through the bullpens in each and every game ever since Corey Knebel went on the disabled list, and it seems like whatever button he's pushed, it seems to be working.
Yeah, he's on a good run right now.
And he says it makes it easy when all of his guys are throwing well.
Oh my, he did not get that call upstairs. That was a knee buckling curveball.
Yeah, buckled the umpire's knees.
Yeah, it did. Oh,
let's go, Mike. Game's not over yet.
2 balls, 1 strike. Mesoraco, a run scoring double. That was in the 4th inning.
Really been fastball, curveball tonight for Jeremy. We haven't seen too many of the splits. Maybe see one here.
The 2-2. Another curve. .057 earned run average for Jeffress, one of 5 Brewers relievers with an ERA of less than 2. And it's notable that Dan Jennings is just outside of that list, 208 coming into this night. And Jennings worked the 7th inning, and it was a scoreless one. Into the shift. That's Jonathan Villar. 1 out.
That could very well have been the split change right there. 91 on the velocity on that last pitch.
One away here in the 9th inning for Alex Blandino. Grounded to short and has walked twice in the 4th and 7th innings. Going after the first pitch here. Brewers trying to get multi-inning saves in each of the 3 games of this series. Hader on Monday, Jeffress last night. Jeremy trying to do it again here this evening. The 1-strike pitch. Here's the 1-1. Little chopper. This could be a tough play. Jeffress, and no play. Blandino is on. Infield single for Blandino.
Yep, right off the plate. High in the air. No chance for Jeffress. Better off not even trying to throw that one. Craig Counsell wanted to make sure that's not a foul ball. Hits off the plate. Nope, no foul ball. Never hit Blandino.
So now the tying run comes to the plate for Cincinnati. Scott Schebler came in at the top of the 9th, part of a double switch. He's homered 3 times this year. He homered 30 last year. 1 ball, no strikes. Reds with just 4 hits in this game. 1 out, 1 on in the 9th.
Yeah, that run doesn't mean anything over at first base, but yeah, Jeremy Jeffress wants to make sure he stays put, maybe keep that double play alive, end this one here. Just get a sense that I'm keeping an eye on you, even though Aguilar is behind the bag.
The ball, a strike down to Shevler.
Even with all the work he's had over the last couple of nights, Jeremy's still throwing 95.
There he is. Hitting in 2/3 last night. Trying to finish this one off again tonight. The ball, a strike to Scott Shevler. And a chance for 2. VR flips to Arcia. There's 1 on the first, and the Brewers sweep the series. 4-6-3 double play. Second save in as many nights for Jeremy Jeffress. And it turns into a winning road trip for the Brew Crew. They go 5-4.
Yeah, amazing stuff out of Jeffress. I mean, this bullpen. What more can they do? Good start by Wade Miley, but I'll tell you, Jeremy Jeffress, outstanding work. Jennings with a scoreless inning, but 3 2/3 innings for Jeremy in the last couple of nights. Wow.
Just outstanding work. Home run tonight from Christian Yelich as the Brewers sweep the Reds in Cincinnati. 3-1 your